Okay, let me ask you this. Why do we treat mental health support like it's something that needs to hide in plain sight? That's the question bouncing in my head after hearing about NAMI Manitowoc County's move downtown. On paper, it's just an office relocation, new address, ribbon-cutting ceremony, same support groups. But wait, if we stop treating this like a dry news blurb and actually think about what's happening here, this move might be way more symbolic than we realize. Let me unpack this because I feel like there's a deeper story about community, visibility, and how we approach mental health in small towns. First, the basics. NAMI Manitowoc County, the National Alliance on Mental Illness chapter covering this Wisconsin area, just relocated to 936 10th Street. They are throwing a ribbon-cutting party on September 17th, and their peer-to-peer support group is already meeting. They're starting this August. Sessions run from 5:45 to 6:45 p.m., described as a safe, confidential space for mutual support. Cool. But here's where I start side-eyeing the screen. Why does this feel like a quiet revolution? Let's dissect this. Hosting a ribbon cutting for a mental health organization isn't just PR fluff. It's a giant neon sign saying, "Hey, we exist, we are here, and we are not ashamed." In smaller communities, mental health resources often operate in the shadows, literally. If you've ever tried finding support in a rural area, you know what I mean. Meetings tucked into church basements, vague website descriptions, whispered referrals. So when an org like NAMI plants a flag in downtown Manitowoc, that's a power move. It's saying, we are not hiding anymore. Now, the peer-to-peer group timing, weekdays at dusk, is more interesting than you'd think. Let me play devil's advocate. Why not weekends? Because this isn't about convenience, it's about accessibility for people who need routine. Think about it. A working parent struggling with anxiety, a student battling depression after school, a retiree facing isolation. The 5:45 p.m. slot hits right when the day's stress peaks, but doesn't trap people into late-night commitments. And calling it mutual support and growth. That phrasing matters. This isn't a lecture, it's a collective. Everyone's bringing their struggles to the table equally. I've been in spaces where the hierarchy between expert and patient creates walls. NAMI's approach here: tear those walls down. But here's the part that keeps me up at night. What does it mean for a mental health org to physically move into a town's social nerve center? Downtowns are cultural barometers. They are where a community's values get displayed like shop fronts. If NAMI chose a suburban strip mall, we'd be having a different conversation. But downtown? That's choosing visibility. It's forcing mental health into the same space as coffee shops and banks, the everyday. And honestly, this feels like a counterpunch to the way we've commodified wellness. Like, how many Instagram posts do we see about self-care, while actual support systems remain inaccessible? This isn't a curated TikTok aesthetic, this is real, messy, human work. Let's zoom out. Manitowoc County's population is about 82,000. That's not a metro area, it's a tight-knit community where everyone knows someone who's struggling, but nobody wants to be the one talking about it. By moving downtown, NAMI's creating a paradox, a public space for private struggles. And I'm fascinated by the ripple effect this could trigger. Maybe teens see The Office on their way to the movies and realize they are not alone. Maybe employers walk past the building and rethink workplace mental health policies. Maybe stigma starts cracking because the physical presence of support makes it less scary. Here's my closing thought. This relocation isn't about square footage. It's about redefining what mental health care looks like in America's overlooked corners. When NAMI Manitowoc County cuts that ribbon next month, they are not just opening a door, they are widening a bridge. And I'm left wondering, Will other towns follow? Or will this remain a bold experiment in normalizing our darkest, most human experiences? Let me know what you think in the comments. Does visibility actually change outcomes? Or are we just rearranging the deck chairs on the stigma Titanic?